Hey, loves, how are you? So, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. That's what grief looks like for me today. And that's why I'm here to share with you, to, to talk about it. What does it mean? And I'm old enough to know that it means a lot of times for me that something is burning on the inside of me, churning on the inside of me, that something of great importance is being renewed. And so, on this second stint of me sharing this podcast, Miss Vi's Legacy, I want to share with you today what grief it looks like for me. Over the years, I've realized that when I can't sleep, that I need to go ahead and do something with that. I get up as I did this morning, and I felt the direction to do the podcast. And so, what does that mean for me as I'm thinking about it, as I got dressed, and as I chose this shirt, Vulnerability is the New Sexy? I thought it was no coincidence that after I shot the very first podcast last night and I shared with you guys that I didn't even want to do it. But sometimes when God is calling you to something, you don't always truly have a desire. Like the desire comes from a different place. So the desire for me is honoring my mom's legacy because I am her legacy. You know, you hear a lot of times that's why men, when they have a baby with that woman that they love, they want a son so their legacy continues to live on. Well, my parents or my mom did not have boys. She had girls. And so sharing her legacy for me is important because I don't have children. And so I know that it ends with me. I know that. And I'm okay with that. But I will leave sharing our story because it's a beautiful story filled with challenges and overcoming power. So for me, not being able to sleep, even this morning, really felt like there's a creativity that's inside of me that I need to yield to. Because when you do, like even when I don't feel like doing it, I usually feel so much better after I do what I feel like I'm being called to, because that's what it is. And remember, and if you didn't see the first episode, just go back and look. I didn't want to do this. And what I said was this was one of the biggest lessons for me. It's only been a year that she's been gone. And my heart still hurts. You know, I still miss her. But I realized that my purpose did not die with her. I realized that she was my assignment. And that when she died, my assignment changed. And I can either roll with the assignment or I can not. That's how I feel. I couldn't stop thinking about her and this tribute to her this morning. How important it is to me to talk about the stigmas that are associated with mental illness that kept our story silent until now. I remember talking to one of my aunts recently and her saying that she didn't know. She didn't know all that we had been through, that I had been through as a 12-year-old who was now suddenly assigned to taking care of her mother. That's what she said to me. And it's hard to believe that you don't know. But distance does cause, you know, a faint connection or relationship. So when you think about all the things that have come about since my mom's passing, when I think about that, it's you can't fathom it. You can't make it up. It comes, and like I said, you have to face it. I've had to face some of the most difficult things, like losing not just my mom, but also in losing, how much more have I gained? How much more do I have the opportunity to gain by going through this process of ebbing and flowing? Because this is the one thing I know for sure. I did well in my assignment. Was I a perfect daughter? Absolutely not. Did I have challenges with becoming a caregiver at the age of 12? Absolutely. I was displaced first before all of that happened. This is a unique story. I honestly do not know anyone who has taken care of a parent for 40 years. I don't believe that I'm the only one. But I'm just saying, I don't know anybody else who's done this. And the toll that it took on me. And this is why I'm explaining to you what it looks like for me, but it's also why this podcast exists. It's why I am going in this route. And I don't know everything that God is calling me to do, but there's layers to it. I already see the vision. I already see it. But can I be honest that sometimes it's like, but why? Why do I have to do this? It was the same when I was a caregiver. Why? So I wasn't a perfect daughter, but I was a great daughter. My mother loved me, and I loved her. So much so that I gave my life for her. I sacrificed everything. Somehow I was still able, though, to find a way to care for myself. Did I come over here and sit down without tissue? Wow, how did I do that? Let me go get some tissue. That's why I'm saying to you, this is not scripted. I don't have time for it. Such world that we live in is so fake. So fake. I put a little bit of makeup on today, but you saw yesterday I didn't have no makeup on. Just a little bit. This is real. This is real. I miss her so much. This is why I created this space. Because there's something that says, even though I don't know anyone else who's done what I've done, they have to be out there. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. No. Where are you? Where are the rest of you who have spent years, more than a decade? I spent 4 decades of my life taking care of her. And she was special. And she was not special because she had a mental illness. And I'm going to talk about it more. Just not today. You see how the emotions just go? This is real. Goodness. I am real. I am not AI generated. So I cry, I laugh. This is what grief looks like. You cry, you may laugh. It may take some time before you laugh. It's been a year and 3 weeks today, yesterday. A year and 3 weeks. And I miss her. I didn't mean to cry, but this is real. This is why caregivers matter to me. We were a team. I probably was the coach. She was special. And what's a funny story that comes to my mind even right now is that my mom never accepted the mental illness diagnosis. Never. I'll talk about that all the time. Never. It's like, you have, oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. Oh my goodness. She was special. And we sometimes talk about mental illness like, could grief actually be that? Yeah, because sometimes when we go as a part of the process of grief, some of us will go into a depression. It's mental illness. I think 2026 this is. I'm laughing because I had to look at my calendar like I don't know it's 2026. But hey, that's what grief can look like too. Like some of the main things that you know get away from you for a minute. So 2026, yeah. You have brain fog. You might go into a depression. If you're a caregiver like me, we got to take care of ourselves. And that's what was so interesting, that over the years, I was able to some way, somehow, and I'm not saying it wasn't hard. It was very difficult. But by God's grace, I was still able to get away sometimes. And even a pain point for me, honestly, is at the end of her life, the last 2 years were so hard. At the very end, I tried to get respite. Respite is when you're taking care of someone and you have nurses and CNAs come in, things like that. And then you can go away while they actually take care of your loved one. Oh, absolutely not. It didn't happen for me. Over the years, it was so hard. But at the very end, it was hard as well. At the very end, I couldn't get respite. When I say that my mom and I were exhausted, I mean mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. And I had no help. Other than my spouse in taking care of her. Did some other people maybe share a listening ear? Yes. And I don't take that for granted because that can help with your mental health when you're able to get it out. But the grief looked like exhaustion. The grief looked like depression. The grief looked like brain fog. The grief looked like memory jacked up. This is me. I'm just talking about what I went through. But this is why you matter to me. If you're a caregiver, you matter to me. You might not matter to anybody else, but you matter to me. And this is why the tribute to my mom, the honorarium that God placed in my heart 2 Fridays ago, the anniversary of her death, February the 7th, 2025, she gained her reward. And on February 7th, 2026, God placed the spirit and the idea for the legacy in me and how it would unfold. And so I'm being obedient and I'm here sharing this story, our story, which is so personal, but I can't really keep to myself if I'm to honor her and our journey together, because it was a beautiful and special one. So caregivers will be honored. The first caregiver I actually already chose. I just have to finish the details of where I'm going to present this award, how, if it's in public thing, private thing, if it's a part of a nonprofit or not. Do I establish that fully or not? This is my heart. This is the heartbeat of God, what he's given me. Again, not saying every aspect of it I want to do. I don't want to do this podcast, but I'm here. I'm here. Because in honoring them, I have many choices. I'm going to definitely, the first person is a woman who has taken care of her spouse for a very long time. When I first heard her story, I was like, wow, it's not my story, but I could resonate with her because of the longevity and because of the mental illness in her spouse. And so this tribute, Miss Vi's legacy, is about that relationship. It's about the caregiver. It's about the loved one. who had a mental illness. And coincidentally, if there's also something else that they die from, like my mom, you generally don't succumb to death by a mental illness. It's something else that takes you on to glory, where my mom is, which gives me joy. It gives me peace and comfort. So the grief is taking me back through our whole story. It's taking me from the beginning to the end. Scripture reminds me, despise not small beginnings. It reminds me that God knew both of us before he placed us into this earthly realm. And we have to return to our true self, which is the spirit, I believe. And so she's returned to her true self, and she doesn't have a mental illness. She doesn't have a disease. She's perfect now. And I'm still here, and you're still here. We're still here walking out this life. So if I don't let grief teach me something, I'm really going to be jacked up. And I'm not trying to be jacked up. Not. I want to learn. Maybe that's why this is working for me, because I want to move forward. I don't want to be stuck in the grief. I want to move through the grief. Like, that's an intentional thought of mine. I want to move through the grief. And if remembering is a part of that grief, then I need to remember. I told you, when I look at her picture too long, and her picture is right here beside me. When I look at it too long, it'll make me cry sometimes. And I know that. And I know that. I look at and I remember what it was like to be her daughter. I remember what she was like, when she was mean, when she was nice, when she was so sweet. And as I say that, I'll never forget the tender kisses that she gave me. She didn't just pass out kisses, though. Okay? You had to ask for one. And when I would ask for that kiss, she would not refuse me. Maybe, well, then again, maybe don't get me to line. She might have refused me. I probably was getting on her nerves before I asked for it, though. But when I would ask for that kiss, my mom's lips were so soft, and it was a little peck, and it was like a tickle. Those are the things that, when she first passed, I probably, like, in that first couple of weeks, I probably didn't even want to remember, because it felt different then. It felt like I'm missing the kiss, right? And today, a year and a few weeks later, I do miss the kiss, but it's not the same. And so what I'm saying to you is, I'm sharing with you and healing myself in the process of sharing, that you can move forward. You can move forward. If you can't sleep, get up. Write down what you feel in your heart. When I sat down to honor my mom on the 7th, this is what was birthed out of that honor. I am Miss Vi's legacy. And I will be here to share my heart and share with you the building blocks of this legacy and how it will honor every single year a caregiver who has given their lives. The scripture says, no greater love than a man lay down, or a woman, his or her life for a friend. My mom was my friend too. She was my best friend for 40 years that I knew. And even before that, she was my best friend. No greater love. And I'm going to honor her by honoring a caregiver and their loved one. And I really hope to be able to support them in some way. We will give a monetary gift, me and my husband, for this first year, and a award to them, a certificate. And I even see giving some respite, giving a meal. Interestingly enough, I don't cook much anymore because I had to cook for my mom. I had to do it. And since she passed, I rarely cook. Again, it's what grief is looking like for me. So I hope to do better with cooking for myself. I actually did cook yesterday. It's just rare. But I want to be consistent with it. So feel free to ask me about that later. Am I doing better with that? But in that legacy gift, that's one of the ideas that has been given to me. So just move forward. Choose. If you get nothing else out of my share today, just choose to move forward. Don't calculate what that's going to look like. Don't calculate it. Let it flow. Let it ebb and let it flow. Trust God. If you're a believer like me, when you lose a loved one, I don't know how else to have hope without knowing that there's someone or something greater than me and that she's not lost. We use that word, but she's not lost. She has her reward. And we get earthly rewards here, so I'm going to reward somebody who's still in the act of caregiving. While I learn how to take care of myself without her, while I learn how to move forward without her, but with her. This is my heart for you, that you learn that caregiving is honorable. If you still have your loved one here, continue to do the work and let God honor you, whether man does or not. If you lost your mom or other loved one like I did, and you were their caregiver, know that I'm praying for you. I don't have to know you to pray for you, but I'm praying for you and I'm praying for myself, because sometimes you have to do that for yourself. It's a part of my self-care routine. I pray for me. And if I need something, I ask God for it. But I'm moving forward in this journey. This has been Miss Vi's legacy. See you next time.